My name's Bob Lowry, and I'm the founder of Bueno Y Sano. My first jobs were at pizza places where I grew up in Andover, and then I had a job at the Iron Horse in Northampton, washing dishes while I was in college. But I never really was a manager, actually all I ever really did was wash dishes and do the register. I had a job. I graduated in '93. Well, sort of graduated. Didn't really, but I was close. I got a job at State Street in Quincy, Mass, and I was doing that job. And I took a weekend to come back to UMass and see my friends out here who hadn't graduated yet. This is just, a year after I graduated. And I was riding downtown and I saw a for rent sign in a window of a restaurant that had gone out of business. It was called Uptown Pizza. It was right next door to Antonio's. And I had a burrito about a month before that on Nantucket Island, of all places, in this little street shed after being at a bar. It was like midnight, whatever. So I was looking at this place. It was, for rent, and back then Antonio's was like a madhouse all the time. They served 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people a day. And so I was like, well, that would be a great place for something. Not another pizza place right next door to Antonio's, but maybe burritos. So yeah, Amherst needs a burrito shop, I thought. And that's how the idea happened. And that place was taken already. I called the number in the window like a week later, because I actually really was like, wow, if I could pull that off, that would be super cool. And it's burritos, they're not that complicated, and I could probably figure it out. So I called the number, then they showed me the place, but then they said, oh, but it's taken already, but we can show you a different place. So they showed us this location, which was actually half the size it is now, but it was an old falafel joint that had gone out of business. And it was vacant, and it was almost perfect. It was like a miracle. I didn't realize it back then, but it was just a burrito shop waiting to happen. And that's how it all started. So Northampton was our second successful location. I tried to open one in Boston and it failed. It's a whole nother story. But about 10 years into it, this place in Northampton called Cha 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 had been there forever. It's an excellent restaurant, mostly a burrito sort of place. It was called the Latin Grill, anyway. And it was one of my favorite spots to go when I went to Northampton. Their stuff was quite different from ours, and that came up for sale in 2005, and I had spoken to the owner and been like, hey, if you're going to sell it, just let me know. And he did. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. We moved in there and it was successful right away. After that, it was West Springfield, which is down by Home Depot and all the stuff down there, which seemed like a pretty obviously busy spot in Western Mass. Maybe the biggest plaza area. Biggest one I know about in Western Mass anyway. We opened in Springfield, which is Rolando, who's my partner now, in one of the companies anyway. He opened his own Bueno. I gave him this license to open a spot in Springfield, and he's been very successful there. We opened in South Deerfield about 6 or 7 years ago, and that place has done really well. And now we just opened in Holyoke, just down the street from Holyoke Community College. And that's only been like a month now, and it's doing great. The menus are almost identical. There's a couple of little variations here and there. Yeah, it's mostly the same menu. From the very beginning, our grilled chicken burrito has been the most popular. best-selling item on the menu easily. After that, it's sort of like the bean burrito or the steak burrito, and now recently the smoked brisket burrito has become very popular as like other than the main standard item. This smoked brisket tacos are, I think, my favorite. We have a smoker at Pine Hill Orchard. This like 8-foot long, legit Texas smoker. We use hardwood. It's all brisket that we smoke. That's the only thing that we do there, and we finish it in an oven. We don't smoke it for 16 hours, but after 4 or 5 hours, that whole process is finished anyway. But they're amazing, and they're based. It's a Austin style taco it's a corn tortilla that's put on the griddle with cheese on top, and then we put the brisket on that and some pico de gallo and some chipotle sour cream. It's amazing. So we've been involved with a whole mess of nonprofits for a long time. A couple of the big ones are Big Brothers Big Sisters of Hampshire County. I was a big brother to 3 consecutive littles, each for about 3 years. And that was something I always knew I wanted to do. I don't know why exactly, but I knew I wanted to hang out with kids, and I wasn't married until later, and that became like a whole thing. And now we do a special day at all the restaurants where we take half of the proceeds and give as funding for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And also I've been a proponent around here of alternative education, particularly for teenagers. There's a Lighthouse, which is an alternative school in Holyoke, which we have been supporting since its inception, and also North Star, self-directed learning for teens. I love those programs or those organizations because basically they give teenagers, young people, like their time, their like lives to themselves to manage and create their own educations without having to fulfill all these technical things and whatever. In a high school, they can be self-directed and still get a diploma or a GED and go on to college and be in charge of their own lives. I just think that's so cool. What I hope for people to know, and we don't necessarily do a great job talking about it, but we make everything from scratch here. It's like a couple of little items. Like, we don't make our own buffalo sauce, but we make our own barbecue sauce, which is this awesome recipe that Rolando engineered. Basically, he's quite good with food and recipes. We make our own salsa. All the beans are cooked from scratch, and that from the very beginning, that was like a touch point for me. When I had the idea, I was like, if we make everything from scratch, we'll be ahead of the game in this whole industry. That's just the way it is. I mean, if it's unique and it's wholesome and fresh, then people will show up. We have our menu, and I don't like to change things. We had this thing where we'd come up with specials and stuff. This is way a long time ago. And the staff wouldn't want them to go away because customers would ask for them, and they'd be like, well, where's what I ordered last week? And they felt like they were disappointing people. So if we were gonna try something, it was gonna be like, okay, if it really sells, we're gonna keep it, like forever. So the last thing that we added was the smoked brisket, and that was like 8 years ago. So it's pretty static now. That might change though this coming year. I think we're gonna add a couple of things, like just because it's about time, and there's some exciting stuff that we can do, like that will bring some people in. I had never seriously considered starting a business before I started the restaurant in Amherst. And entrepreneurship is definitely not for most people. But I just want to say to people out there that are, that have some kind of idea going in their minds, to be open with caution, of course. So it's easy for me to say this, but like when we opened Bueno in Amherst, it was probably the best location in the country to open a place. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing, really. And after 2 years, we had an annual sales of $1 million. And this is like 28 years ago or whatever. The demand here was insane. And we had like just the right product. So that convergence of a market with just the right thing, that's how we got started. And I just, it's just, I encourage people to look for opportunities and, act on them if they really know that they're there, Literally the first Christmas party we ever had, we rented a disco ball. And I was just working with a bunch of people from UMass, these kids who basically were my friends, people from Andover where I grew up. And this one group of friends that was all this, we hired this wonderful gal, Jessica Williams, and her whole friend group became like our labor pool besides Andover. And so we had this awesome Christmas party, and I think it was Jessica's idea to rent a disco ball. She's like, we gotta have a disco ball, okay? And then after like the third year that we did it, we had expanded into this room, and we had our first Christmas party here, and the disco ball was right there. And I was like, we gotta get one and just keep it there. Why not? It's so cool, right? So I bought one from, I don't know, some party store or whatever. And now at all the locations, we have a disco ball. And it's just, it's been a thing since day one, basically. It's sparkly. Rayo's Coffee was open before we opened. And they're right over there. And I used to go over there, and they had a couple of paintings that I liked. On the side of the building, and maybe inside too. And I asked Scott Rayo about it, and I think he introduced me to Trace Meek, who became a friend of mine, and he helped us. As soon as I could get him in here, he did some murals, kind of like this one, but it was in the other side where our dining room used to be exactly where our kitchen is right now. And then later he did these, and the ones in Northampton. I've known him since then. He's a local artist, and he's very talented. And I like the imaging and the way the characters sort of like were sort of playful and super colorful. So these are his work, and it's stood the test of time. Yeah, I still love them all.